Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. As always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I'm going to entitle this video, My Recent New Guitar Arrivals. Within the last 2 weeks, these guitars have come in. And I've posted some of them for sale. And so far, there hasn't been any nibblers. There's some people that don't realize what great deals you get here. Because say for instance, to get this guitar right here. This is I think it's Tom DeLonge replica. Now, normally the replica is about half the price of the actual guitar, and if I'm not mistaken, this is about maybe the real authentic one is about $800. I've seen them as high as $1,500. I kid you not. If I can, I'll leave a link right down there on eBay. You can see it for yourself. I'm not exaggerating by no means. So usually, again, the replica is about half the price of the original. And again, the original is about $700 that I've seen. It's kind of like that's kind of where they fall, about $700-800. So this one should be worth $300-400. You know, it sounds great, it feels good, but no takers. I've lowered this down to like $150. It's like you could barely get a just getting in the gate guitar for $150. You know. And this one feels great. It sounds good. It's of course the setup is professional. It is great action. It just feels good to play, and it looks good. I mean, that's why I bought it. I'm like, this is beautiful. I want a seafoam green. I couldn't find a decent one as far as the 3 single cord pickups, so I decided to go with this one, and this one sounds good. You know, I mean, if you're looking for that high twangy Strat sound, this is not it. If you're looking for a guitar to have a good tone as far as pop stuff, this is it. Because you want to have enough guitars in your collection that cover all types of styles of music. Instead of just that same bright Strat sound. You got 5 guitars sound the same. And I was guilty of that when I was younger. Didn't know any better, but I'm like, I got to be more versatile in my collection where this guitar would do the pop rock stuff and this other stuff. It would be guitars that do, you know, the R&B stuff or whatever, you know. So I had to get out of that habit of I want another guitar to look just like this one and sound just like this one. It's like, why? You already got one, you know, unless it's a certain sound that you want to have. And if something happened to your front guitar, you got a backup. Because I got a couple of guitars. They are kind of similar because in the event that this one goes bad or something happens, I got a backup to keep that tone. You know, so this is one of them. And like I told you guys, this thing feels great. And if I don't get any takers, probably within the next week, I'm even taking that video down because there's nothing that I want to get rid of because there's a problem with it. I don't like it. Everything that I have, I like. The stuff that I don't like, it goes back. I'm not trying to pawn it off on anybody else. Oh, this don't feel like nothing in action on Jack. I'm going to sell it to somebody else, lower the price. No, it's going back, you know. And that's why I buy guitars from sources like Guitar Center, mainly Guitar Center, some other guitar, you know, companies that I would get from Music Go Round. And they used to have a real hassle return, a real hassle. And I'll get into that another day because that's long. But I'll say this. At one time, they thought that when you pay for a guitar and pay for the shipping and handling, when something's wrong with the guitar, and this is not, I just don't like it. No, there's something wrong with this guitar and you send it back. Well, we're going to keep your original shipping. No, the hell you're not. Why you think you're going to keep my money? You know? And then I would have to pay to ship it back. So I'm like, so not only am I getting my original money back, I got to pay to ship it back. And that, in between the two of those, that could be over $130, $60, $70 a pop to send it back and forth. So they got their act together because I'm sure a lot of people complain because when I complain to my credit card company, they said, don't worry about it, we got you. And they got me my money back because I'm like, why do they think they're going to keep my money? You know, because again, there's something wrong with this. Not something wrong with it. I just don't want it. Either I will pay for the shipping or I keep it or sell it. You know, it's just not to my liking. Which doesn't mean there's something wrong with the guitar. But they finally got that together because the last guitar that I bought and had to send back because it was jacked, they didn't try to keep my original shipping, and then they gave me a label to send it back. Because I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. That's how everybody else is. Guitar Center, even Reverb, even though if you don't know about that, they won't say nothing and they just let you ship it back on your dime, you know. But, you know, like I said, that's why I basically, you know, get my stuff through Guitar Center and other means, you know. So here is my Samick Greg Burnett design. Everything Greg Burnett designed that I've seen, I love. You know, he's one of the few people. I get it. I know what y'all want, and I'm going to give you what you want. Instead of some jacked up, stupid stuff that they're going to try to force on you, you know. And this is the Samick Fairlane. And actually, I had this guitar, and the one I'm about to show you next too. I had these guitars before. And sometimes I say, you know what? I would like to have that guitar back. So I bought both of these back from, you know, of course, another dealer. But I love these guitars because this is a standard neck. So it's a small scale neck. But the body's just smaller, which makes sense to me because when I'm standing up playing, you know, that big old Fender jazz bass, that thing heavy, you know. And we still kind of like to move around, kind of like the time as far as choreography and stuff like that. So this is much easier. It's easy to play. It feels good. The action on these have always been good. This is my fourth Samick bass, and I've never had any issues with the action. So, you know, as soon as it shows up, it's ready to play. It's not like, oh, it's kind of high, so I got to hit the saddle. Then I got to go down up here, start messing with the bridge. And if that doesn't work, you know, you have to resort to either taking it to a repair guy or you one of them guys that you can fix everything and fuck up everything. Because I know a few of those people, you know, that you take the neck off and put a shim up on them. Like, I'm not going through that because that's out of my expertise. So I'm going to pass it on to the guy that can do this and pay him. That's the smart thing to do. But, you know, you got some people that, I'm going to try it anyway. Then they make it worse. But I've never had any issues with the action on these guitars because they know we want low action. You know, we don't want high-ass action. I surveyed you guys about 2 years ago, and really nobody said, I want high action. Only one guy that wanted to be noticed, because there's always going to be one of them dudes in a bunch. You know, everybody's on agreement to this because it would make sense to agree on this. No, he's got one dude. You know, because he wants to be seen and noticed. You know, idiot. You know, but I got nothing but praise for Samick and Greg Burnett guitars. And this one too. This is, of course, the Samick Greg Burnett Corsair. And the difference between that one and this one is that one got two jazz pickups. This one has P pickups and a jazz pickup. And this one's beautiful. I mean, whoever had this guitar didn't play it. There's not one scratch on this guitar. And then the gloss is just magnificent. It's the kind of gloss. Okay, I got one up here. I don't know how I got that, but I never noticed. It's just a little one. But the gloss on this thing, it looks like it's brand new. I mean, the gloss is new. It's not that it's an old guitar and the gloss is kind of faded. This thing, you see your face in here, you know? But this one feels good too. Got the same shape, size neck, and just a smaller body. And you would think that somebody be like, figured that out a long time ago. So these guitars kind of heavy, you know? So, you know, everybody can't be wagging around 20 pounds on stage for 3 hours, you know? So somebody figured it out. Okay, I'm going to do this one. Because I had some people when I played this bass. It's like, tell us about this some more, man. This one is very rare and it has some modifications because I'm a big fan of Seaform Green and Dolphin Blue. And I said, I got to have each of those colors in my setup again. You know, because I've had them before and I've sold guitars. So I'm like, I'm going to, you know, keep these, collect them, and most likely keep them for the time being. And when I seen this at Guitar Center, I was like, oh, yeah, I definitely got to have this. So I quickly paid for it. Then I get an email from one of the coordinators at the location. They said, we noticed there was some paint chips on this guitar before we sent the picture out. And, if you don't want this after seeing this, we cancel the order. If you want to keep it, we are knock off $50. And I'll show you this. This ain't no big deal at all. This thing heavy. Shit. That's what I just talking about. Heavy as hell. I guess you can see it. Then there's another one up there. And a little one back there. Now this is how my thoughts on this. Now, unless I'm buying a brand spanking new guitar, of course I'm going to have issues that it got paint chips missing. But when it's used, it's no big deal to me. I don't give a shit about little chips on the guitar. If you're one of them people that got a guitar that look like it's brand new and you've had it for years, you are not a player, okay? You are a collector. You are not a player. Because at some point in time, you're going to get a little road worn on your guitar if you play it. Like my white Telly Squire. People ask me, did you get this, how they can make it look old? It's like, no, I play it that much. I play 8-9 hours a day sometimes. So you get those little worn marks up and down the neck, which people think's cool. You got people that will buy a guitar that look like it's been played and been, on the road for years. I'm like, I don't get that one. I don't. I'm like, when it's going to become that, that's because I've been playing it. Not I want one that look like I've been playing it with somebody else. I don't get that one. But I guess some people like that look. I don't know. But I don't care about that little chip. It's like this is really hard to find. This color is hard to find. And then, they put the guards there, which is really cool. It makes you look like, it's a 50 style bass. And then they normally have the volume, control, or tone. You just got volume, tone, and then this other switch acts as another tone. So, this has been modified. And it looks good. The neck feels good. I tried to put lighter strings on it, and it rejected. It's like, oh, no. And that's okay, let me put the other ones back on. And I got enough basses where some of them could be a lighter, and most of them are lighter gauge, like my guitar. I always play 8s. But sometimes they come with 10s. Yeah, 10s and 9 on my jazz guitars, 10s, which would make sense because you want a deeper, richer tone. When you put real light 8s on them jazz guitars, they're going to sound real bright and thin and weak. So I left those on there. Then I got another guitar that I think it has maybe 9s on it. I left them because I'm like, it sounds good, And it's good just to have a different variety of string gauges on your guitars. So all your guitars got 8s. All your guitars got 9s, And this is, I don't know what gauge this is, because like I told you, I trade out on all my basses to 9s, because these strings are kind of thick. But like I say, when I try to put the 8s on here, or 38s, I think it's the lightest, it's like, oh no, take them off. So I took them off, put these back on. And this bass sounds good. It penetrates through the mix. I got another guitar that it really penetrates through the mix. The action is just, it was made for me. I mean, the action is just dream. This feels good. I mean, this is kind of standard. It's not high at all. It's standard, but it feels good. So, I left them on, or took them back on, or put them back on, But this is a really nice guitar. Has a great tone. Very rare. And last but not least, which is pretty interesting, this one. I went to this place to get a salad for me and my wife. Because, I'm trying to cut down on all that grease. I might have grease out of 7 days out the week, maybe 2. No more than 2. So I went there to get a salad because they make really good salads. So I said, while I'm over there, I'm going to go hang out at the pawn shop, because every now and then you run across something decent, because I'm in the market for another computer, because the one I got, my main one, is taking too long to load and blah, 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 and then they sold it to me without no power cord. So I had to go get one out of my collection, and for some reason it just doesn't fit well. I got to put duct tape and keep it from sliding out. So I'm getting kind of tired of that. So I said, well, let me run over here and just take a quick glance before I place my order. So I went over there, and well, I ain't gonna get into all that, but I seen a guitar, and they only wanted $150 for it. And the first thing I noticed was the very unique design of this guitar. It kind of has a Les Paul shape, but yet not a Les Paul shape. And I love the headstock on this thing. You know, it's different because, you know, everybody that wants to have that standard Fender look, you know, you run the risk of getting sued. I'm like, can't you just alter it a little bit to change it? But they just go almost to specs of the same one. So they decided to do this to create their own design, and I love it. And there's a autograph on here. I'm like, whose autograph is this? I said, it kind of looks like Esteban. And Esteban, to me personally, don't have a good track record as far as guitars. I had bought, I guess it was an entry level, because that's all they had at the time, acoustic. That thing was awful. That thing was awful. And quickly, the action rose. It was like watching bread in the oven. The sucker rose quick. So I'm like, oh, Esteban is a great guitar player, but his guitars are garbage. So I guess they improved, because this is an electric one, of course. And the first thing I noticed was the unique design. And I picked this thing up. It's solid as a rock. This is not hollow. This thing got some weight to it. I'm like, whoa. And the action was decent, you know. So I asked the guy about it, and it was kind of interesting. The young guy, he said, you know, it's going to need some tuning. And what was funny, at the same time when he said that, they had music in the background. I'm not going to tell you the artist. I said, you know who that is? He said, of course. I said, I used to play with him. Oh, okay. So then he realized I ain't amateur, you know. But I thought that was kind of funny. So, you know, I took it home, string it up, feels good, plays well, because I'll leave a link down here. I just did a cover of Dire Straits, the live version of Salt and Swings. And this thing has a really good range as far as different tones. And I was still puzzled about whose name up here. So I went on eBay to look it up, and it was Esteban's. You know, that's his name. You know, he made this guitar. He did a good job with this, with this one. Now, like I said, with the acoustic, it was a nightmare. But this thing, it feels good, it looks good, it sounds good. And I love, again, that unique. It kind of looked like a Les Paul Jr. in a sense. I'll stick it up to the camera so I get a better look. And it's in excellent condition. This one doesn't have a scratch on it. And the finish looks good. Nothing on the back. So whoever bought this didn't play it. They bought it, thought they was going to become a Jimi Hendrix overnight probably, and then abandoned it because, like I told you, beginners, this is going to take a while to master. You know, don't believe that 30-day mess that you see on the internet now. You could be playing like this, because I seen one last week. The guy was like, in 30 days, you could be playing like this. And he was going. I'm like, come on, man. Quit lying to these people. You are not going to be playing like that in 30 days. Prince didn't play like that in 30 days. I'm sure Hendrix didn't play like that in 30 days. But companies now don't have no integrity. They'll lie to you in a minute just to sell you product. Yeah, right. This is a lie. I'm like, there's no way you're going to be playing like this guy in 30 fucking days. Just deception. Well, no, it's not deception. It's just straight out lying, you know? So, I got to be getting ready to get this other project started. Let me check my calendar. Okay. I got a few more minutes. So I'm going to sign off now, but I just thought I'd show you guys my latest guitar rivals. All of them check off. Because like I told you guys, when it shows up, I don't like it. If there's a problem with it, it's going back. I'm not trying to sell y'all garbage or junk. You know, I don't do that. That ain't my MO. You know, I stand by what I sell. I'm like, trust me, this is a good guitar. And for you beginners, it's like if you decide to buy something from me, you getting off to a very good start, because most of the musicians that grew up in the 70s can attest to this. Their first guitar was garbage. Let me repeat. Our first guitar was garbage. But if you're just starting off and you visit my channel and you want to get started, trust me, you in a good situation. Trust me, because I'm not selling you high action junk. Not doing it, you know. So until next time, take care, and thanks for watching and listening.